Hey guys, it's Deborah. I wanted to talk to you a moment about this chart that you see before you. It is probably something you've seen before. It's from the channel End Time Dream and Vision with Bob Barber. So hopefully he doesn't mind me sharing his chart. I just want to do a review on it and talk about it for a minute because I was made aware of a few things and I've learned a few things since I've first seen this chart. So I just want to talk about it and kind of make a few adjustments showing what I actually believe according to scripture and what I feel like I've been shown. So, yeah, I just want to review it. And we don't agree on everything, me and that channel, not everything, but there's a lot I do agree with. So I'm not saying you have to agree with everything that he says, but I did want to talk about some of the things on here. He talks a lot about this prophet, or a man who said he was a prophet. I don't know if he said he was a prophet or he prophesied a lot or whatever. His name is, oh, of course I forgot his name. Kim Clements. So I believe he's passed away. So I started watching End Times about 3 years ago now. So, like 2017, well, it was after 2017. So I guess it was 2018 because I had missed the Revelation 12 sign. But this man, I don't want to get into him or talk about him. I've heard different people say good things, bad things. Once I saw a video he did and he called the rapture crapture. That's what he called it. He said, I call it the crapture. I swear I saw a video of him saying that. So I don't even want to go there. So he uses this guy a lot. I'm just going to let that part go because I think his prophecy kind of depends a lot on that guy. So I'm just going to leave that alone there. But his chart is valuable, I think. And so let's get into it. Okay, so because I said I was only watching since 2018, I was behind the times on some of this stuff, and the new things I'm being made aware of, and then it's like all fitting into a perfect thing here. So let's just look what he says. So 2014 to 2017, he calls this whole thing the last Trump. Well, I guess 2017 to 2024, he calls the last Trump. Now, 2014 to 2017 is, I guess, kind of like a forerunner to the last Trump. And then 2017 to 2024 is his rapture zone. So this is the stuff that I'm going to show you my opinion on. And he talks about all the big signs that happened from 2014 to 2017. And so we'll get into that. And then 2017 to 24, he believes that any time in there can be the rapture all the way up to 2024. What else? So I think, so as long as you guys see it and you see the differences or you see what he's showing, and then I'm going to show you my differences. So you get a good idea here. He thinks the rapture can happen from 2017 to 2024. That would be the main thing I would say would differ. So let's get into what I think. Okay, so I covered a few things up. So basically, I agree that he put his little rapture picture in 2020 to 2021. His little picture is there. So I think we all have kind of pieces to the puzzle. And so that's why his little picture was there. And I agree. So let's keep that there. I changed a couple things. I didn't put the rapture zone from 2017 to 2024 because I think where that little picture is where the rapture will take place. And then we'll talk about what happens after 2021 and what happens after 2024. But first, let's just talk about the first part of this. So if you guys see there, I put the picture of two cows from 2014 to 2017. So actually, the cows continue all the way to 2020, really. The reason I did this is I wasn't aware of this, but that there were two cows born in the United States in 2014, and they were born on a Jewish feast, and they were born on a Shemitah year and all this different stuff. I can't remember all the details, but I believe it was like the Feast of Tabernacles or the Feast of Trumpets, and they were born with sevens on their head, two cows. And I really do believe it could be a sign of similar to the 7 years of feast and famine in the dream that Joseph interpreted. So that being said, say we start at 2014, and the first 7 years goes to 2021, then that's 7 years. And then if you go from 2021 to 2028, you've got another 7 years. So that from 2014 to 2021 would be like the first preparation years, like the years of getting ready, whatever it is you're going to be doing. The enemy's getting ready. And then people can get ready in two different ways. You can get ready either by prepping and not trusting the Lord in that way, thinking you're going to make it through the last 7 years. And I'm not talking about just preparing for natural disasters. I mean, you can do that if in your area you have certain type of weather disasters, you can prepare for that and stuff like that. But I mean, like preparing for a 7-year tribulation. So there's that. Or you could prepare to meet the Lord by, having a relationship with him, being saved, and, watching and waiting for his return. And, so you're the bride. So you're the wise virgins. You could be preparing in that way. So you have those 7 years. I think that could have been it. So from 2014 to 2021, which would really work well with the time frame that I'm showing you guys, that in 2020, 2021-ish, like I'm thinking spring 2021 would be the rapture and tribulation. Okay, so now what other pictures do I have here? So I have a picture of two men standing in front of a fig tree, because this represents to me what I feel like the Lord showed me, which would be a time frame from 2017 to 2021. Oh, I forgot to say, in 2014, I think a lot of people were woken up. That's when I think a lot of people were woken up. So I just feel like this chart that he made from 2014 to 2024 is really good. I think it could extend to 2028. I don't see why it just ends at 2024, but I think this is really good that it starts at 2014. I thought, no, things really kicked off at 2017, but I really think things started to kick off at 2014. Obviously, people have been watching a lot longer than that, but I'm just talking about like a certain time frame of like waking up, because all the foolish and the wise versions, they were all asleep. And we've all been asleep. Like, we didn't start watching the minute we were saved, unless we were saved like off YouTube or something where, I mean, most people, I shouldn't say no one, but typically you start walking your Christian walk, and then later you start to realize the time that we're living in, that we're in the end days. So anyway, all the virgins were asleep. They all fell asleep. Only when they woke up, some had oil, some had less oil, and things like that. So anyway, I think 2014 was significant. So let's go to 2017 to 2021 with this picture. So I felt like the Lord had said to me, the parable of the barren fig tree, and I've said this many times, represents this period from 2017 to 2021. 27, well, yeah, it is the whole thing. Okay, I'll explain why. So if you don't know the parable of the barren fig tree, basically there was a man who was tending to a fig tree for the owner of the fig tree. The man was tending to it, and when the owner came of the fig tree, he said, it's bearing no fruit. He said, he's wondering what has this guy been doing to it? And the man who was caring for it said, I dug around, I care for it, but it didn't bear any fruit. I'm obviously paraphrasing. And then the owner said, well, dig around it and dung it 1 more year. And then if it still bears no fruit, cut it down. And it was a long story how this all just came to me, but I believe that may represent 2017 to 2020. Him trying to care for this fig tree and bring it to life and bear fruit. Israel is the fig tree. It's still not bearing fruit. Then 2020 to 2021 would be the year of dunging it. Well, dunging it means like throwing manure on it. So that is like 2020 is like the year of corrections, the year of insanity, horribleness, everything, like year of lies. And so 2020 to 2021 can be that extra year. I again have said, I've never heard anyone really explain to me about that parable other than what I feel like the Lord is showing me. He may have revealed this to me in the end days. Like, this could be seriously what he revealed to me. I could be wrong, but I have to stand on what I heard, and so then I'll just, pray on it, wait for it to come to pass. But I don't really see any other significance for Jesus giving this parable. So I believe this parable is representing the fig tree from 2017 to 2020, that there was an effort to try to, revive Israel, but they are looking for their Messiah, not Jesus. And then from 2020 to 2021 is the year of dunging it and really digging around it, which is, when you're being refined and like this, like a tribulation time, but not the great tribulation, just like a hard time that they're going through for 1 more year. And then he said, and then if it bears no fruit, cut it down. And what does cut it down mean? That means like Jacob's trouble. Okay, so that could be that. So that's why I put this picture here. Okay, let's talk for a minute about 2014 to 2017, the blood moon tetrad. So this is new to me, and I hope this will give you guys a lot of enjoyment and encouragement to hear, because some of you know all about this, but I just learned about this tetrad. I didn't know what it was. Like I didn't know, I knew it's big, but I have no idea what it was about. So I just did some research, and this is what I found out. Okay, NASA said that there's only been 3 times in the last 500 years that there have been a blood moon tetrad, 4 blood moons in a row. It's only happened 3 times in the last 500 years. Now, let me tell you these 3 times. This is going to amaze you, okay, if you don't know. So the first time there was a blood moon tetrad in the last 500 years was in 1492. What happened in 1492? The Jews were kicked out of Spain and they had 14 days to leave. Okay, so it was a disaster for the Jews. So when there was a 4 blood moon tetrad, some of them had to give their kids to people in Spain to raise them and stuff. They had to run. They had 14 days to run out of Spain. They had nowhere to go. And what also happened in 1492 was Christopher Columbus discovered the United States, and that was going to be the new home for the Jews. So blood moons are a sign for the Jews, and I just thought this was amazing that, it seems like disaster precedes blessing. So basically 1492, they were kicked out, and then the blessing was United States was discovered, and that was their new home. Okay, when did the next blood moon tetrad happen in the last 500 years? 1948. Like, is this for real? So Israel was reborn in 1948. I don't really have to say much more. That was when the next blood moon tetrad happened. Okay, and then the third time blood moon tetrad happened in the last 500 years was 1967. Okay, so Jerusalem was reunited with Israel, and there was the 6-day war. So when I was saying, and that's in 1967, this is amazing. I can't believe I didn't know this. Okay, so remember I said in 1492 it was bad because they were kicked out of somewhere, but then they got a new home. Okay, so bad, then good. 1948, Israel was reborn, but it was preceded by the Holocaust. So bad, then good. 1967, you had the 6-day war, but then you also had Jerusalem was reunited with Israel. Prophetically, that's really huge. So then the last time there was the blood moon tetrad was 2014. That's here, this big wake-up call, okay? So a couple facts about that I didn't realize was it happened on Passover 2014 and Feast of Trumpets 2014, and there was like a big eclipse in there too, and on Nisan 1. And then it happened again on Passover 2015 and Feast of Trumpets of 2015. I mean, that is just unbelievable, okay? So if something bad then precedes something good, what if this was like the big, massive last sign, and and then God is saying the next bad thing will be Jacob's trouble, and the next good thing will be the millennial year reign. Those other events were smaller, like it was bad and good in really horrible ways and good ways, but not life-changing, earth-changing ways. I think that's what this could have been signaling starting the 2014, okay? And there's no more tetrads for hundreds of years in the distance, according to NASA, okay? So NASA gave this facts about when there was blood moons and when there'll be more, but they didn't give, so those are just like, I'm not following NASA, obviously, but like they are the ones reporting the blood moons. But when it comes to us reporting what's happening in Israel, that was more Christians who found that out. So this was amazing, okay? Amazing facts, okay? And then there was this Bethlehem star that came up in 2016. And unfortunately, I don't have too much info on that, but clearly that's a sign in the sky. I don't know if it hadn't happened since Jesus' birth, but I'm thinking possibly. So that was huge. And then you have, so that's 2014 to 2017. That's why I think it was a really key time. And I think it did start this last wake up period. I mean, he calls it the last Trump or whatever. Like I don't know what to call it. A lot of what he's talking about is based around President Trump, and it's fine to call it that name. I don't know what I would call it. I'm not sure, but the bridegroom call period. I don't know. Okay, so let's go to 2017. And then you have, of course, the Revelation 12 sign. So I do know a lot about that. I won't go into it because I know you guys know a lot about that. But basically, I do believe it was a sign. I know it's been said that it's happened a couple times again. I don't know if it's happened in the exact same way. I don't know why that particular time it got so much hype. Recently, I think I've heard that it's happened again, so I'm not too sure about that, but I do think I think the Lord was working through the guy who found that. And so it works with my 20, it kind of marks, it's like a marker. Same with the American eclipse in 2017. And I think on that time of the eclipse, Trump was like in office exactly 7 months. I don't know if it was like 7 months, 7 years, and 7 months and 7 days, or I don't know if exactly that, but it was he was in there 7 months. And also, this is the year 5777. I think these things are very important in 2017, and 2017 was just this big time. And I think these things are markers. They're marking off. So 2014 did mark off to 2017, and I think it's marked by the tetrad. And I think it started, like, one of those signs was those cows born. In 2017 to 2021 is, like I said, the barren fig tree prophecy time frame. And then, like I said, 2014 to 2021 would be the first 7 years, if the two cows kind of predicted that, of it's not really like feast and famine, it's more about preparation, I guess, or warning, you could call it, and then disaster. And then 2021 to 2028 would be the Great Tribulation, Jacob's trouble. Okay, and what else do we have here? So I think that's the main points I wanted to get across, and that my version kind of is a little different because he has a rapture zone from 2017 to 2024, which I don't see. And he has, I see it at 2020, 2021 for one main reason. What is that main reason, guys? The fig tree generation prophecy. I'm not sure how he ties it into his thing, or if he thinks we won't be, maybe he doesn't believe in a pre-tribulation rapture. I'm actually not sure. But if the fig tree generation holds true, then, and I've done this, like my last 3 videos are all kind of based around this amazing timeline and stuff that really prove the fig tree generation we seem to be interpreting correctly. If that is right, then it does end at 2021. It would be 73 years that Israel's a nation. Therefore, you need 7 years, sorry, I can't think here, to have the Jacob's trouble, which is Daniel's 70th week, so a week. So now let's talk a minute about what happens after, let's say 2021, if the rapture and tribulation begin, then from 2021, you start the Great Tribulation. And yeah, let's change the picture here. Okay, so I just changed the picture to talk more about this other half of things. We're going to talk about the Great Tribulation side of things. So once you hit the 2021, you have the little rapture picture, the barren fig tree prophecy thing ends there, and the parable of the fig tree ends. The fig tree generation prophecy ends. So you have many prophecies ending here at 2021. You have this barren fig tree prophecy, possibly. You have the prophecy of the generation of the fig tree generation, and that all ends at 2021. So basically now from 2021 on, I believe you have the Great Tribulation, which is Jacob's trouble. So he stops here at 2024, but 2021 to 2024 would be the first 3.5 years. Okay, so the first 3.5 years from my study does not include the Antichrist being incarnated by the dragon, by Satan. Okay, he's like the man of sin. He's not the son of perdition. Okay, you can call it. It's like he has 2 names. So he's starting all the seals are being opened. The white rider's riding out, starting up all his, one world, everything being supported and all that stuff. And in that time period, he's not indwelt. So he's making peace. He's having a 7-year covenant. Israel is trusting him. So from 2021 to 2024, they're trusting him. So instead of calling it the last Trump from 2017 to 2024, I would shave that down. I should have done that to 2017 to 2021 would be the last Trump, I guess you call it, whatever you want to call it. And then 2021 to 2024 is literally you're in the tribulation. That's why I put that picture there. So like I said, everything's getting rolling. The seals are opening. We know what that means. We know inflation and everything else that's happening at the same time. And then, like I said, the Antichrist is, I believe not indwelt. I believe that the dragon is cast down at the halfway point. This is just me. It lines up with the sixth seal to me and the seventh seal and all that stuff. This is just how I see it. Okay, so then 2024, you'd have the Antichrist indwelt with now he's wroth with the woman. He's totally mad. He then has 42 months. Now, you guys have to remember, it's very clear that the second half of the tribulation, I believe, is his 42 months. It's so it's pronounced that he gets 42 months. Like, a lot of people just, I don't know, skim past that part, but I think it's very important that, and then some people just say, well, it's just a 3.5 year tribulation because he gets 42 months. I mean, then you're taking, like, everything has to be a balanced meal, everything in all that you do. And I feel like there's this unbalanced way in YouTube, anyway, in many areas, but you have to have a balanced meal. And the balanced meal is, it all is important. You can't take out Daniel's 70th week and then say it's only 3.5 years. Well, you can do whatever you want, but I wouldn't. And you can't do other things where you say, well, this is this way because it says it here, but what about over there? It all matches. It's all okay. It all works together. So it's 70 years because of Daniel's 70th week, but it's 42 months in the way that I believe, is only indwelt for 42 months. So therefore, here's how I see it. Like I said, 2014 to 2017 was some sort of like warning with the tetrad and the eclipses and all that kind of stuff in the Bethlehem star. Then the two cows, I think are important. And then the 2017 to 2021 is basically, like I said, 2017 was a marker with the Revelation 12 sign and the eclipse. And it was basically, like, I guess, a wake-up call and started the barren fig tree prophecy. If that was the Lord talking to me, that would give us 2017 to 2020 and give it one more year. He said, give it one more year, then cut it down. That brings you to 2021. So the rapture is in around there. I don't know when exactly. I would say spring, but in around there. Okay. Then you got 2021 to 2024, which would be the great tribulation beginning, but he's not indwelt. And then he doesn't have the chart after that, but let's just say 2024 to 2028. Or 2027, I don't know, because it says lest those days be shortened. So I'm not sure. I didn't do the calculation there. But basically around then, approximately another 3.5 years. But is it the 360 years? I would say it would be. But anyway, then you got this 42 months. That's when he has full reign. And I've broken down that in other videos about rapture timing and who is doing what, where, and what John sees in heaven and all that stuff. So I want to end it there. Hopefully this was interesting to you guys. I think the blood moon tetrad information was really cool. I wish I had researched more on the Bethlehem star. Sorry about that, guys. But I think I guess I just wanted to report on this and kind of break down how I see the timeline going. And when I saw wake-up calls happening, and I was woken up around 2018, but I already started seeing things around 2014. And I'll say real quickly to end, my daughter, my eldest, I talk about her a lot. I do have 4 kids, but my eldest, she had a vision in her bedroom. Before I knew about end times, she was in her bedroom. She was about 6, and this happened, I believe, in 2014. She was like 6 or 7, but when I do the math, it was 2014, which I find interesting that that's exactly when he started talking to me. So I've been a Christian for like over 20 years, and walking with him closely is just, I don't know why. I guess I was asleep. And also churches don't teach this anymore. I did when I was young about end times, but they don't anymore. And when, so I knew about the rapture and stuff like that, but it's like literally I never thought about it ever, 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 ever. And so one day she came into my bedroom when she woke up in the middle of the night, and she was little, right? 6 or 7, and said, "Mommy, there's a man in my room," or was a man in my room. And I was like, "What?" And then she was like, "Yeah, there was a man in my room and he was talking to me by my bed." And I was like, "What are you talking about?" And I was about to run, and she's like, "Oh, he's gone now." And I'm like, "You were dreaming. You must have been dreaming." And she was like, "No, I was awake. He was in my room." And she was so calm, and she wasn't upset or scared at all. And I said, "Well, what did he say?" And then she said, he showed me something. He just showed me something in the sky, in the air. And I was like, "What?" So she's sitting on my bed telling me all this. And then she said, "He showed me all these white people in white on white horses, like all in the air riding horses." And I said, "Okay, you must have been dreaming." She goes, "No, I was awake." And I said, "Are you scared?" She goes, "No." And I was like shocked. And so later, years passed, and she forgot that she had told me this, because this is a long time ago, 2014 this happened. And I kept it hidden in my heart, and I didn't know. I didn't know that we ride back on white horses. I didn't know any of this, which is so sad, but basically I didn't know. And I kept it in my heart, and I thought whatever this was what was it? I mean, now I would know exactly what it was, but I didn't. I didn't know until 2018 what she saw. Then I was like, oh, wow, she saw the second coming. She saw us riding back, the saints behind him on white horses in her room in an awake vision. Okay. So that happened in 2014. So that's my little personal story that goes along with this timeline. So I think in 2014, something big did happen. Maybe people were being woken up. I know many got woken up much time before that, but maybe it was just like a mass waking. And then 2017, I think, was another like massive waking up. And it was just like a slow progress for people to understand what's going on. And then people really got a grip. And now we're all like, whoa, we're wide awake. We are woke. So now we're so close to this little rapture picture. And like I said, I believe the Great Tribulation is 2021 to 2024, starting the first 3.5 years. Then 2024, it has that big American eclipse. And I think that is key, because if America is Mystery Babylon, then they have a big X over them right at 2024. Like, it finishes it off. Okay. And that would be middle of the tribulation. And I won't go into all those details, but that could work out very, it would make sense prophetically. And then you have the last 42 months where, there's no America to get in his way. He's reigning the 42 months, the Antichrist. And then he sits in the temple, chases the Jews away. And then you got that whole stuff coming and going on. So that's my whole thing. I hope you enjoyed my little personal story of my daughter's dream. I'm sure some of you have heard it before. It was amazing. It wasn't a dream. It was a vision, because she was awake. And the reason I know it was for sure from the Lord is I didn't know what it was. Neither of us knew. It's not like I was watching end time stuff and she was like, oh, in her brain, in the back of her brain. Neither of us knew what it was. That's my big number one thing to say this was of the Lord. Like, I didn't know what it was for years after that. Anyway, so that's all. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope it was interesting for you and educational. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So until next time, I will talk to you again soon. God bless and shalom.